Welcome to Northwoods Pursuit, where we uncover the untold stories of the wild. Black bears collapse beneath high-voltage lines, lured by hunger and betrayed by neglected infrastructure. Alarming videos expose a harsh reality. Wildlife suffers from our oversights. Each loss signals danger to us all. What are you doing to shield your land from this growing threat? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories that matter. At the Beijing Zoo, something as simple as a faulty electric fence can have serious consequences. A single jolt from a leaky wire can stun a tiger's growth by as much as 20%, while repeated shocks trigger chronic stress and heightened aggression. This isn't just bad for the animals, it's a real threat to public safety. The solution is clear. Properly insulate every wire, raise fence heights, and keep a close eye on the entire system to safeguard both the tigers and the people who come to see them. In another case, a moose in someone's backyard narrowly avoided a tragic run-in with an electric fence. A close call many wild animals aren't lucky enough to survive. Warning signs are meaningless to wildlife. An 8-foot-high insulated barrier might protect a vegetable garden from most intruders, but it's no match for a determined elephant weighing between 8,000 and 14,000 pounds. In places like Kenya and Sri Lanka, even electric fences packing 4,500 to 7,000 volts often fail to stop these giants when they decide to push through. Poorly built fences aren't just an eyesore, they can wipe out millions of dollars worth of crops. In some regions, farmers have turned to creative solutions, like surrounding fields with beehive fences to keep large animals away. To put things in perspective, electric eels and certain catfish can unleash up to 600 volts, enough to stun a crocodile and far more powerful than most electric fences. Found in the rivers of the Amazon and Africa, these shocking predators pose a real danger to creatures like Komodo dragons and crocodiles. Thankfully, you won't run into them at your neighborhood lake or swimming hole. Across the United States and Asia, it's a common sight to see birds perch high on power lines, enjoying the open view. But when insulators fail, the consequences can be costly, from widespread power outages to wildlife casualties. The fix is simple but essential. Utility companies should perform regular monthly inspections and install noise-reducing devices that protect both the grid and the animals that share our environment. Snakes aren't just ground hunters. Some scale high-voltage power lines in pursuit of birds, sometimes knocking out electricity and plunging entire neighborhoods into darkness. From Asia to America, these silent climbers have a knack for causing chaos. The good news? Simple steps like trimming nearby trees, adding line guards, and taking proactive maintenance measures can protect both wildlife and the communities that depend on reliable power. Raccoons bring a different kind of trouble. Clever and persistent, they raid farms, tear through crops, and rack up thousands of dollars in damage. It's no surprise many farmers turn to electric fences as a last line of defense. Still, the question remains, if you were in their boots, what would you choose as the best alternative? Wildlife vehicle collisions happen every day across the globe, and the results can be devastating for both people and animals. In Stevens County, Georgia, a 300-pound black bear was badly injured after colliding with a car. As warmer weather brings bears out in search of food, Ranger Doley warns drivers to stay alert and keep trash secured and out of sight to avoid drawing them near roads. Got a proven method to reduce bear encounters? Share it, your experience could help others stay safe. Then in Victoria, Australia, kangaroo crashes peak around 6 p.m. when fading light makes them harder to spot. According to RACV Insurance, there were about 15 animal-related insurance claims each day in 2019, with kangaroos leading the list. If one hops into your lane, the safest move is to brake in a straight line. Swerving often makes things worse. And if you do hit an animal, contact a wildlife rescue group right away so they can provide care. In Malaysia, growing reports of tiger sightings near forest edges and highways, especially along the Perak Highway, have pushed the government to step in. Plans are underway to build dedicated wildlife overpasses and tunnels, giving animals a safer way to cross busy roads. To further protect both drivers and wildlife, authorities also intend to install LED streetlights along a 16-mile stretch from Hintang Sea to Benton, improving visibility during nighttime travel. Meanwhile, in rural Australia, kangaroos remain the #1 cause of animal-related car accidents, particularly in New South Wales, where they account for 85% of such collisions. These powerful jumpers often bound onto the road at dusk, leaving little time for drivers to react, especially at speeds of 62 miles per hour, 100 kilometers per hour. From 2001 to 2005, Nearly half of the state's serious animal-related crashes happen when motorists swerve to avoid kangaroos, often resulting in more severe wrecks. More visible road signs and construction of wildlife crossings could go a long way toward reducing these dangerous encounters. At Northwoods Pursuit, we believe that hunting and wildlife stewardship go hand in hand. A responsible hunter doesn't just pull the trigger, they protect the land, understand animal behavior, and work to keep habitats safe for generations to come. Whether it's upgrading fences, building safe crossings, or simply driving with more awareness, every small action can make a big difference. Our wild neighbors deserve both our respect and our vigilance. If you care about the outdoors, the hunt, and the future of our wildlife, stick with us. The next story might just change the way you see the wild forever. Hit that subscribe button and join us for more eye-opening adventures and lessons from the Northwoods. Hey everyone! Today we're exploring baboons, smart, adaptable animals thriving in South Africa's wild and farming areas. With around 350,000 of them across the country, they've learned to live alongside both nature and people. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wildlife stories. Baboons in South Africa aren't spread evenly. Most live in the Western Cape, especially in places like the Cape Peninsula, Cape Winelands, and Overberg. These areas offer rich resources and sit close to human settlements, creating an ideal setup for the clever primates. In the Cape Peninsula, baboons have gained a bad reputation. They often raid farms, vineyards, and gardens, causing serious damage. Their behavior is shaped by habitat, food access, and human presence, so conflict levels vary from place to place. Baboons are no longer just wildlife, they're city slickers now. In parts of South Africa, these smart, bold animals are showing up in busy urban areas, dodging cars, raiding trash cans, and stirring up trouble for both city folks and nearby farmers. To deal with the growing chaos, farmers and wildlife officials are using humane traps, tough steel cages built to safely hold the baboons without hurting them. Each one is about 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 4 feet high, just big enough to keep the animal calm and secure with minimal stress. For many farmers, setting traps does more than protect crops. It brings peace of mind. With baboons threatening their livelihoods, traps offer control in a tough situation. But their growing use highlights a bigger need, smarter, more humane ways to manage wildlife. It's about balance, protecting farms while respecting nature. Baited traps work well because baboons love sweet fruits like bananas and apples. That makes them easy to lure. But when fast, humane action is needed, air rifles are often the better choice. Used responsibly, they reduce stress and suffering for the animals. Among the tools commonly used, high-powered air rifles stand out for their accuracy and reliability. These weapons offer a quieter, more controlled alternative to traditional firearms, making them ideal for managing wildlife near farms or residential areas. Most hunters rely on .22 caliber air rifles capable of firing rounds at speeds over 900 feet per second, more than enough stopping power to take down a baboon quickly and humanely when trapping isn't viable. One major advantage of using firearms in baboon management is the ability to keep a safe distance from potentially aggressive animals. Baboons can be unpredictable, and when they feel threatened, they're known to react with surprising force. Having the means to intervene from afar offers both safety and control, especially in high-risk situations. To avoid long-term consequences for both wildlife and local communities, responsible and sustainable management is key. That starts with proper education. Hunters should complete certified training programs that emphasize safety, ethics, and humane practices. And before setting foot in the field, it's critical that every hunter carries a valid, state-issued license and hunting tag. These measures help ensure that wildlife control efforts are done by the book and with respect for the animals involved. In the fight to protect crops and property, South African farmers have shown remarkable innovation. The traps they use to capture baboons are tough, spacious, and designed to safely restrain even the strongest individuals. Meanwhile, in situations where traps aren't feasible, carefully regulated firearm use offers a necessary alternative, as long as it's handled with responsibility, precision, and a deep respect for life. Balancing human needs with humane practices is what sustainable wildlife management is all about. So, what's your take on the two methods we've explored, trapping and the use of firearms? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. Thanks for sticking with us all the way to the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. We've got more great content coming your way soon. Welcome to Northwoods Pursuit, where urban wildlife gets real. Baboons are no longer just jungle dwellers. They're raiding homes, wrecking property, and spreading disease across U.S. cities. Florida alone saw a jump from 15 break-ins in 2011 to over 1,500 by 2014. It's time to fight back. We're bringing you real solutions, wild encounters, and the truth behind the chaos. Like what you see? Hit subscribe and join the pursuit. In Broward County alone, the baboon population once soared past 50,000, pushing authorities to take drastic action. When non-lethal methods failed, officials turned to firearms as a last resort solution. In response, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, rolled out strict hunting regulations to keep things safe and controlled. A statewide license became mandatory. Hunting was limited to a January to March window, and every hunter is now required to report kills within 7 days after the season, or risk steep consequences, including a 5-year hunting ban. To make sure the job is done responsibly, mandatory firearms training is now part of the process. Hunters are trained to use advanced tactics and modern equipment with precision. Keeping a safe distance, typically between 100 and 150 feet, not only boosts accuracy, but also ensures safety in the field. One standout tool has been the M3 impact gun, valued for its speed and reliability in close to mid-range encounters. Thanks to these efforts, Florida has seen a dramatic drop in baboon numbers, from 50,000 down to just 10,000. These focused efforts aren't just about protecting homes. They're about safeguarding Florida's fragile ecosystems and keeping the state's agricultural economy alive. As invasive species like baboons continue to spread, hunters are stepping up with advanced tactics that are changing the game. From high-tech camouflage to carefully coordinated teams, today's wildlife control is smarter, safer, and more effective than ever. Teams of 3 or more work together to cover more ground while maintaining safety and precision. Fruit bait is placed in key spots to draw baboons into the open, giving hunters a clear, ethical shot. Thanks to cutting-edge gear like high-precision scopes with zoom and tilt features, even tough conditions don't stand in the way. It's this blend of strategy, teamwork, and tech that's making a real impact on the front lines of Florida's wildlife crisis. To keep both people and native wildlife safe, Florida has banned night hunting under strict regulations. This thoughtful approach strikes a balance between effective population control and long-term conservation. Once baboon numbers are brought under control, hunting operations are expected to wind down, giving the ecosystem a chance to heal naturally. The state is also taking steps to ensure baboons aren't left vulnerable to other invasive predators during the transition. Still, not everything is black and white. Questions about health risks and the cultural controversy surrounding the consumption of baboon meat continue to stir debate. What do you think? Where should we draw the line between control and compassion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're passionate about wildlife, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to follow the mission. At Northwoods Pursuit, we believe responsible hunting isn't just a tradition. It's a tool for protecting our communities, our ecosystems, and our future. Controlling invasive species like baboons requires more than just grit. It demands training, ethics, and a deep respect for the natural world. As we face these new wildlife challenges together, it's up to all of us to stay informed, stay prepared, and stay united. If you care about conservation, strategy, and the raw reality of wildlife management. Stick around, there's more to come. Hit that subscribe button and join us on the front lines, where every decision matters and every pursuit has a purpose. This video is for educational and awareness purposes. All scenes follow local laws and ethical hunting guidelines. Welcome to the channel where we dig deep into the battle against invasive species, right here in the US and around the globe. Imagine this: farmers, scientists, and wildlife pros joining forces, using smart technology and targeted strategies to defend our land. These aren't just backyard pests, we're talking about species that cause billions in agricultural damage every year. In 2022 alone, more than 20,000 invasive animals were responsibly removed to help protect our crops, our ecosystems, and the livelihoods of rural communities. Stick around as we break down the latest innovations in wildlife management, tackle tough questions. Across several urban areas, rival gangs of macaques are making headlines, and not in a good way. These bold invaders aren't just stealing food, they're clashing with locals and even launching attacks on unsuspecting pedestrians. Their rise traces back to the 1970s, when massive deforestation forced wildlife into closer contact with humans. That disruption sparked a macaque population explosion that's been rattling city life and draining local resources ever since. Now, communities on the front lines, especially those near urban forests, are stepping up. They're launching focused wildlife management efforts to protect residents, safeguard agriculture, and restore a healthier balance between nature and the neighborhoods it's creeping into. It's not just about keeping monkeys out of trash bins, it's about preserving harmony between people and the wild world around them. To manage the surge of invasive monkeys, experienced wildlife trackers have turned to stealth and strategy. They bait the landscape with irresistible treats, ripe bananas, crisp apples, carefully positioned to draw the animals in. Then, hidden in camouflage blinds that blend into the terrain, they wait silently. When the troops approach, hunters use quiet weapons like bows and arrows, avoiding loud noises that might startle the group or escalate chaos. This low-impact method isn't just about efficiency, it's about respect. Every step is designed to minimize stress on the animals while protecting the balance of local ecosystems. Still, even with skill and precision, the job is no walk in the park. A typical hunter may only capture 2 or 3 monkeys a day, while the most seasoned can manage 5 or 6. These aren't small creatures either. Adult macaques can grow nearly 3 feet tall and weigh up to 50 pounds. Tracking and capturing them takes serious strength, patience, and a deep commitment to humane wildlife management. Deep in the forests, skilled marksmen take a calculated approach to managing invasive monkey populations. Armed with bolt-action rifles, most commonly chambered in .223 or .243, they rely on patience, precision, and a deep understanding of animal behavior. From hidden vantage points, they scan the canopy, listening closely for the distinct calls of monkey troops before taking aim. Shooting from a controlled distance of 100 to 200 yards, they work to limit their impact on the surrounding environment. But it's not just about marksmanship, it's about ethics. These hunters follow strict guidelines to ensure humane outcomes, aiming for vital zones like the head or neck for a swift, clean kill. They target only fully mature monkeys, carefully avoiding pregnant females and younger animals to support ecological balance and biodiversity. It's a method rooted in both discipline and respect, one that blends precision with a long-term vision for the health of our forests. This careful, disciplined strategy is more than just population control. It's a commitment to animal welfare and responsible land stewardship. By blending modern techniques with deep respect for nature, hunters play a key role in preserving the balance of ecosystems that future generations depend on. That's why ethical hunting practices matter more than ever. It's not just about removing a threat, it's about doing so with care, integrity, and a long-term commitment to conservation. Responsible hunters and wildlife managers are stepping up as stewards of the land, using skill and restraint to protect our communities, our ecosystems, and the delicate balance that holds it all together. If you're passionate about preserving wild spaces and learning how modern conservation works in the real world, Don't miss what's coming next. Hit subscribe, stay tuned, and join us in the next episode as we uncover more powerful stories from the front lines of invasive species control. This video is for educational and awareness purposes. All scenes follow local laws and ethical hunting guidelines. Hey folks, welcome to Northwoods Pursuit, where we track the unexpected wild stories unfolding in today's America. Believe it or not, one of the most surprising threats creeping into our cities isn't a coyote or a black bear, it's baboons. That's right. In 2024, the USDA reported over 1,000 incidents of these clever primates breaking into homes in search of food. What used to be an odd sighting is now a growing crisis. Are our traditional wildlife control methods enough? Or are we overdue for something smarter, tougher, and more adaptive? Today, we're diving into the heart of the issue, exploring how communities are standing up, fighting back, and finding new ways to reclaim their peace of mind. Stick around and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your take and might even feature it in our next episode. Things are getting wild, literally. What started a few years ago with just a dozen or so curious baboon break-ins has exploded into over 1,500 cases reported in 2024. And these aren't your average backyard critters. Baboons are smart, strong, and fearless, and they're tearing up suburban neighborhoods. Homes have been ransacked, cars destroyed, and the total damage? An unbelievable $175 billion annually. But it's not just the mess they leave behind. Their droppings carry bacteria that could spread disease to humans, turning this into a public health concern. In Broward County alone, more than 500 baboons are believed to be roaming free. With traps and fences failing, some communities are going to extreme lengths, yes, even arming themselves, just to protect their homes and families. In response to the escalating baboon crisis, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, has tightened the reins with strict new regulations. Anyone hoping to hunt these invasive primates must now obtain a statewide license and stick to a designated hunting season running from January through March. But this is an open season. It's a carefully controlled operation. Each hunter is required to report any baboon taken within 7 days. No excuses. Miss that window, and you could face serious consequences, including a 5-year suspension from all hunting activities in Florida. On top of that, participants are now required to complete a certified firearms safety course, ensuring every hunter knows how to handle their weapon with care, accuracy, and accountability before heading into the field. As the baboon population surged, Florida's hunters had to adapt fast, bringing smarter strategies and more advanced gear into play. Success hinges on precision, which means maintaining a safe yet effective range, typically between 100 and 150 feet, to minimize risk while ensuring clean, accurate shots. At the forefront of this effort is the Impact M3 air rifle, a cutting-edge tool praised for its speed, pinpoint accuracy, and reliability in close to mid-range scenarios. This powerful air rifle has proven to be a turning point in the fight, helping drive the baboon population down from over 5,000 to just around 1,000. But the benefits go beyond population control. These efforts are restoring balance to local ecosystems, shielding farmland from destruction, and protecting Florida's vital agricultural backbone. Controlling invasive species like baboons today isn't just about pulling the trigger. It's about thinking smarter, moving quieter, and working as a unit. Modern hunters are stepping up their game with high-tech camouflage that blends seamlessly into Florida's wild landscape, making it nearly impossible for these sharp-eyed primates to detect them. Bait traps, especially fruit-based lures, are strategically placed to draw baboons into more visible, controlled spaces where shots can be taken safely and cleanly. But the real game changer: teamwork. Hunters now operate in coordinated squads of 3 or more, using radios and hand signals to communicate, cover more ground, and keep everyone safe. It's no longer a solo pursuit. It's a carefully choreographed mission that's delivering real results. Technology is playing a critical role in turning the tide against Florida's baboon surge. Today's hunters rely on precision optics, scopes with adjustable zoom, tilt, and even thermal features to lock onto targets in dense brush or under unpredictable weather. But it's not just about the gear, it's about how it's used. Strict regulations are in place to ban nighttime hunting, helping protect other species and reduce the risk to nearby communities. This isn't about wiping baboons off the map. It's about restoring balance. Once the population is under control, the goal is to scale back hunting operations and let the ecosystem recover naturally. At the same time, wildlife officials are taking steps to make sure baboons don't fall victim to other invasive predators, keeping Florida's fragile environment in check for the long haul. Managing invasive species isn't just a numbers game. It opens up a bigger conversation about ethics, responsibility, and where we draw the line when it comes to controlling wildlife. Are we doing enough? Are we going too far? That's where your voice matters. We'd love to hear what you think about the moral side of these efforts. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're into real, unfiltered stories from the front lines of wildlife management, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Just a quick note, everything shown in this video follows local laws and ethical hunting standards. Our goal is to inform, not sensationalize, because awareness is the first step toward real solutions.